Hello and welcome to round 2 coverage of the 2022 Dynamic Discs Open. We are here in Emporia, Kansas for stop number 5 of 15 on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. You are watching JomezPro with Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri.
And if you're loving the coverage, you guys aren't subscribed. I don't understand what's even happening. It takes zero time, tiny little bit of time. Just hit the button and then it helps us. Like, it's so much. You wouldn't even believe how much it helps us. And if you're watching this coverage right now, you probably already are subscribed. But if you're not, do it. Just get it over with. Thomas Gilbert, this is his first Elite Series lead. Surprising to some, surprising to me, but his talent isn't surprising. I mean, the guy is absolute stud on the course, and about time. James Conrad, world champion. James Conrad's very familiar with the situation. He is another player that we are very familiar with, but Nolan Ramser is someone that we are not familiar with. Wichita, Kansas, the man is familiar with wind. 9th windiest city in the United States, according to Paul Ulibarri.
I'll buy it.
And another guy that some of you guys might not know, but man, this guy can crush, and he is a great player, Elijah Bickel. This is going to be his Jomez debut as well. A lot of new faces.
Seems like every tournament we're seeing new faces, which is amazing.
Yep.
Keep practicing out there. You might find yourself on a lead card someday. Hole 1, par 3, 291. Same island hole as yesterday. It's just a little bit windier.
Everything's windier. Round 2, the conditions are... We were in danger of a big storm.
Teeing off first from Toronto, Canada, sponsored by Prodigy, Thomas Gilbert.
At one point, I believe there was even a tornado watch in the area.
I saw multiple of those feather flags just fully snapped. Like, it was windy enough that the course assets were breaking.
And Thomas's jump putt is a lengthy jump putt, and that is a nice way to mitigate that speed.
Virginia, sponsored by MVP James Conrad.
We saw 4 out-of-bounds drives from our feature group in round 1, and 2 of those players were electing to lay up and still went out of bounds. So Thomas with a nice play just to come up short.
Looked like it had a little speed on it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be tucked around the corner. That might be tricky.
Yeah, I think it's certain to be tricky. I think he's up to the challenge, but that's not where you want to be.
My name is Nolan Ramser. I'm from Wichita, Kansas, and I've been playing disc golf since I was 9 years old. I went junior for the first couple tournaments, straight to intermediate, straight to advanced, and then moved up to pro last year or a little before that. Pro has gone pretty good. I've won a couple B tiers now, a bunch of C tiers. Last year at the Dynamic Discs Open, in the final round, I shot 9 down and tied the hot round with Paul Macbeth. 2 bogeys and 11 birdies. Altogether, it was pretty good. After shooting the hot round last year, I knew that I had the ability to, be good on the course. I think coming into it, I just knew if I just do what I did last year, even at both courses, just stay in bounds, make putts, take birdies when they appear, and take pars just to avoid anything stupid, then that'll be good. The course is easier than I thought it was before doing that. I live an hour and a half from here, so the wind, honestly, is not that big a deal to me. Most stuff in my bag is pretty overstable, so I don't have to make many adjustments. Feel pretty confident forehand and backhand. As long as the putt's going in, the round seems to be put together pretty well. Some of the shots at Jones Supreme are really long, and you have to stay in the fairway because they're so tight. And with the winds like that, you just have to trust yourself and be able to throw hard, but with something you know is going to stay in bounds. Coming into it, I don't think I was telling myself that I was going to win this tournament or anything. I think personally, my goals today are just stay in bounds. It's supposed to be 25-mile-an-hour winds, and you can take pars. Par is good. I think that's really the name of the game today. I haven't played in front of a crowd like that. I don't know, I don't think it's quite settled in yet. I don't think it will until I'm standing on the tee pad. I mean, obviously I'm nervous, but I can't be thinking about that the whole round. So just try to play my game. I know I can compete as long as I just stay in bounds and don't make any dumb mistakes, and I feel pretty confident.
Friends back home are calling him the White Viper, folks. what I've been told to call him today. And just that. Oh, wow.
Hey, name of the game, staying in bounds. That's the stylish way to do it.
Yeah.
And from Peru, Indiana, sponsored by Prodigy.
I like how he's saying,
Bickel.
yeah, I'm just going to play smart and really just try to eliminate the OB shots.
Goes
And then
for
just
no-
rocket ship right onto the green.
I think there's only one way to play this hole. I think you just have to go for it.
Oh,
Oh, I thought that might get really fortunate and bounce backwards for him.
I love the angle on that if it didn't hit those limbs right there.
I guess what I mean is if the wind is up like this approach shot is not easy. Thomas has the jump putt to get that shot there, but a lot of people who don't have that jump putt length, who have to throw a shot onto that green, that thing can get lifted up and just sent off the island, and you could take a 5 by playing it safe.
Oh, this is just a nightmare to have to throw this shot.
Oh my
James is the perfect guy to
That
do
was
it, but
beautiful.
through the wind.
That was nuts.
One of the
Very
coolest
scary.
120-foot shots you'll ever see.
Smart layup there.
This putt is going to be into the headwind. And it is in for Nolan. That is a fantastic start. Hole 1 is only the 8th hardest hole. It was the 3rd hardest in round 1, but it is still 3.31 average, a third of a stroke nearly above par, and it's just middle of the pack in difficulty. There were only 4 holes in round 2 that averaged below par.
How many
Some of the
birdies
top-
did we see?
On hole 1, there was quite a few. It's just the bogeys and double bogeys. 30 players able to pick up the birdie, but a lot more with those doubles and triples even.
Looking at hole 2, par 5, 1,087 feet with the OB down the left side. There's also a line on the right if your shot gets away from you a little bit. And then you've got your option on shot 2. If you go far enough, you could play big hyzer over the water. Most players going to attack this low tunnel area, try to move up here and set up a shot into the green. Very windy, open green here with just a couple trees to protect the basket from those approach shots.
That's a good angle out of the hand, keeping it low, a little bit of drift to. That's just a fantastic placement shot for Nolan.
A lot of power too.
Thomas going for the Anheuser angle that needs the drift, and it crosses, but it's going to be out of bounds. Fortunately, he got a lot of distance before that faded out at the very end. Let's see if the group gives him that distance on his mark.
A little bit low here for Conrad. Decent. I like the left side better than the right side.
I agree. It's still going to be a difficult par. I don't think there's any way that he can really bite off birdie from that short of a drive. I could be wrong, but I don't even know if he's going to want to attack for it. As you can see, the wind just ripping into the face right now. A little bit of a left to right headwind.
Trying to fight through those branches.
Yeah, that's
Really
a
good
fight.
shot. Yeah.
So tricky going into that headwind with a low ceiling, trying to keep the disc going forward without lifting. And you can see Thomas trying to mitigate that ceiling issue, but that nose down, it's going to make a very difficult bogey save for Thomas even.
That was smoked.
I'm telling you, Elijah has a lot of power.
Dangerous play there from Ramser.
Oh. But it pays off. That is going to be well up the fairway. That should be a pretty decent position to play his third shot up to the pin and look at a birdie.
Oh, another early release low shot from Thomas. Does this skip to the road? No. Fortunate to have that thing put the brakes on. Wow, James.
Giving up the body, and look at this. I said he was out of position for the birdie, and he's going to collect a tap-in birdie.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I agreed with you when you said it. I don't agree with you anymore.
I don't
But when
either.
you said it, I'm a big enough guy to admit that I agreed with you back then.
I didn't.
Of course not.
And Nolan going to
Who
come
would?
up short. That is going to be that's almost impossible make from outside C1 into this ripping. Actually, it's a little bit of a.
Look at this maniac.
Yeah, is this going to stay in bounds?
He just got.
Yes, it is.
Whoa. That was crazy. He could have hit that tree and had a nice little look, too.
And Thomas will be able to have a short putt for the bogey. So hard. That's going to be the most difficult thing of the day. Key factor is going to be, can you put yourself in position around 80 to, I'd say even 90 feet and in regulation. And that's just going to mitigate any sort of scramble opportunities that you're going to have from that 150 to 200, which is a very awkward approach range in this wind. Set yourself up for a lot of putts like this here for James and that birdie. That is a fantastic scramble to be able to pick up the elusive birdie on hole 2. Only 15 players out of our 112 player field were able to get the 4 on hole 2.
Looking at hole 3, par 4, 654 feet. You get a really good idea of the inbounds area represented by everything where you can see in color there. So the big aggressive play is over the water in 1, over a 400-foot water carry. The safe play would be a layup to the left, and then the big hyzer down to the basket. Crosswind is probably the most prevailing direction here, from the right to the left.
But it's a cross tail, which is a helping wind.
Boy.
And this needs to get across. Oh, yeah, he's across, and he's left of the big cedar. That's fine.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the more favorable winds you're going to see today on the course on this particular hole.
Yeah, allows the players to hang one out there wide right. But however, we ran into this a little bit in round 1. If a player does not establish themselves back inbounds, as Nolan is just crept around to the side of the cedar, and they go out of bounds to the right side of that OB line, it's a re-tee, and that produces some big numbers. This is the easiest hole on the course of the day, 3.85 average. That being said, I did witness an 11. Easiest hole with an 11. That's saying a lot about the difficulty of this hole.
And man, 3.85 is just not that easy on a par 4. I mean,
Yeah.
Thomas just sneaks out the back, and it's just so windy today. I mean, you're going to hear us say it. You're going to see it in the ponytail of Conrad. The trees on every hole. It's just a really tough time to be. Whoa.
Oh
As he
my
nearly
goodness.
hits that one. Just making putts and planning and working your way around the course becomes so difficult because you can hardly trust a skip. You don't know where the disc, if it's going to sit up and get up and start to roll with the wind. It's very, very difficult.
And forgive us if we don't blow you away with wind puns today. It's just not going to be possible.
Whew.
I don't think any of the putts so far on this hole are fun except for that one.
Even that one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the nerviest putt there is because you have to make it. The other one, you're like, 23 feet into the big headwind. I can understand why you miss it. 15 to 12 feet, you're like, okay, I got to figure out how to get this thing done.
Yeah, normally it would be a breeze. Oh, boy. Tough one coming back.
And James connects on the par putt. crucial to give yourself as many tailwind opportunities as you can, as if Nolan does not take advantage of the opportunity he set himself up with there. Thomas, generally a fantastic putter. I think he's one of my favorite putting forms because his range is essentially 100 and in. He keeps the disc on a level nose plane, which means he's going to be really great in the wind and gives him opportunities to run putts that other players probably would lay up.
It has a lot of rotations on it, too.
Definitely.
Hole 4, par 4, 668 feet. On the easier side, uphill tee shot. The play is to try to get as much distance as you can and set up as short of an approach as you can. These players' second shot is going to be, actually the tee shot and the approach is going to be going into a little bit of a headwind, a left to right headwind.
I think especially important on the second shot. On the first shot, it's almost your friend. It's going to not allow you to fade towards the out of bounds. But on the second shot, as this is swinging back safe,
Okay.
on the second shot, you're trying to get up high and push left, and the wind is just not really going to help you out at all there. It's going to drop the disc down, and those cedars late on this hole can be pretty bad if you find the middle.
And Thomas turning that drive over, that was an angle or a degree away from turning into a thrower. That's fortunate to find the ground and stay in the middle of the fairway. James, I don't know if he's going to get the same luck. Oh, he kind of does.
Yeah, but another short drive.
See if Ramser can make the correction. Looks like he did. That looks great. Powerful, too.
Really nice drives, both on 2 and 4 in the similar wind. Good distance, good accuracy, good control.
That was crushed.
Yeah. See if this can get much movement.
Oh, it got a lot of movement.
But not the kind you want.
The up and down
Yeah,
kind.
the bouncy kind, not the left swinging.
That could be a tricky up and down for James if, without having the forehand trust. Don't know what he'll go to.
What is this move?
Wow. Where is this going to land?
That was a tornado.
Yeah, that was
Almost didn't ever come down.
kind of like an MTA line. Coming back right back to Thomas almost. But it actually worked out all right.
Wow.
Oh, that is not
that-
a good angle.
And is that... Oh, I think he cut over the line and rolled back in bounds. That would have been devastating with that great drive.
Which one?
The backside after the OB breaks left 90 degrees right past that tree.
No, I was saying which one rolled back in bounds.
He's talking about he got a pretty powerful kick into the disc on the ground, and it went for a little roll after he was a little frustrated with his angle coming out.
I missed that one.
But he's got a powerful kick. You know, you
Yeah.
can't. I'm not going to try to take that away from him. Thomas
Look at
jump
that.
putting
Deep?
from a mile away.
Well, not deep, just right.
Not great.
Yeah.
Not what you're looking for from that distance. You want to snug it up next to that pole from
Just-
this distance.
Yeah, just bury it into the ground. James unable to do that. He's
Man.
outside the circle. Boy.
That really got away from him.
That's when having a sidearm will really help you. The sidearm will just kind of get the wind, smack down. That ain't no gimme right there. That was smacked down by the branch. But having those two angles in the wind is especially useful.
Wow.
Whoa, what a putt.
Saves it.
Let's see that in slow
Yeah, this one's
motion.
high in the chains, cuts to the last chain, and it hangs on.
That putt stays in
And then
4
I like,
times out of 10,
Yeah.
maybe 3 times out of 10. But a really good bid in that wind from range.
no chance with that crosswind. You could see it just kind of blow out.
James losing his temper a little bit there. Only kidding. That's a tough.
Oh,
tough.
there he goes again.
That's a bad bogey to take, even with the wind blowing away. Oh, nice putt from Elijah. It's just the drive was too good.
Yeah, the drive was great, and you would love, as a forehand player, to have that forehand in. He just got his wrist turned some kind of funny way. I can't imagine he was hoping to play a flex into that headwind.
Yeah.
He got the wrist turned over, and that he was fortunate to stay in bounds at the end of the day.
The wind is so significant that sometimes when you're trying to release something flat, it can blow your angle into an anhyzer as you're releasing it. And that could have happened in that situation.
Hole 5, par 3, 385, going slightly downhill and then back up at the green. This one's playing into a pretty serious headwind. You've got a low backhand line and a low forehand line. Backhand probably has the advantage in this wind condition.
Pretty heavy right to left, I agree. Throw it flat out there, as Elijah's done a nice width. Does it have the angle?
Yeah, but that's
Not
great with the wind.
But yeah.
To keep it under the branches is the real difficult part here, and not just get it turned over to where it gets slams into the ground. This is ambitious right here, and he gets the lift.
Oh, I like it.
That's perfect.
Little skip.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Can't have much better angle control than that right there with the sidearm. Now, if you want to, I'm guessing James is going to hit his angle because he usually does. And he did. That's how you throw this hole, and that is he makes that look way too easy. That is not easy, folks.
Take another look at this one. Perfect from James. And I'm gonna say that these guys are playing this hole in a lull in the wind.
Yeah, this is probably the lightest wind you'll see all day.
But everyone on the course is catching that same lull somewhere.
That's
and
rude.
it's just kind of about catching it at the right time, right?
Well, catching it right now is great because it is the second easiest hole, and you don't want to miss the easiest ones out here because there are not many of them. Oh, that was a gentle tap forward for Nolan. Maybe not as close as he'd like to be, but could have been rude as well. Could have redirected him underneath that out-of-bounds bridge.
Uh-oh.
Don't want to do that.
That's straddle putt coming back. I don't know.
Thomas coming up just a bit short. As you can hear that wind picking up, and now you start to see it.
Yep. Lull over.
Yeah, not the time you want the lull to be over, as you've got to lean out, low ceiling, cedar over your head, come back putt for the par. You just missed the... Ooh, that tried to come back out as well. Just keeping it in bounds is part of it, but man, just the general taking care of those strokes there. I mean, running these putts from outside the circle definitely risks the big comebacker, and taking a bogey when you're looking at a birdie that hurts a little bit more on a day like this when the field is averaging 5 strokes over par.
Looks like I'm getting the island holes. Hole 6, par 3, 315, surrounded by water. If you go deep, you take it from where you go out. If you go in the water, there's really tough drop zones. So it's imperative that you keep this one in bounds. What was the wind doing here, guys?
Headwind and kind of a coming across from the left to where it would want to lift the forehand and drop the backhand.
Okay, so that was beautiful.
Yes.
James controlling back-to-back drives on these 2 par 3s perfectly.
So Thomas needs a lot of width. He puts a lot, but watch for lift here.
It's the lift and the skip. This green, you got to come in very sharp to avoid the skip, because even though it does have that signature thick grass here in Kansas, it still for some reason produces a lot of skips.
Drop zone. And now we get to see that maybe for the first time on coverage, and it is not friendly. too wide. Also looking really wide. He needs help.
Oh.
Gets it. I might have been a little off with that call, but I felt like that was wide.
Really overstable disc, I think.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Did he catch the grass? I think he might have.
He did. Thomas, what are you doing?
He is an animal. That is crazy.
What are you even thinking running that putt, you monster? Oh, my goodness.
Dead center from 50.
I can't imagine anyone made a longer putt on hole 6. I'm going to run down through the stats and see if I can find one.
All right, good bogey, good cleanup.
I mean, it's hard to even make a putt from 50 feet on this hole.
Yeah, it is.
It might be the only 50-footer of the day in the whole field in the tournament.
Well, I have to give a little shout out. That was the longest putt man in the hole right there. There was some throw-ins, and I didn't give a shout out yesterday to Gannon Burr, who eagled hole 3, and I didn't give a shout out on today's round when Ricky threw it in from 140 something feet. So eagles in back-to-back days on hole 3. So if you forget that one, just rewind this a little bit, watch it again.
Hole 7, par 4, 704 feet. This one directly into a headwind, and you've got a lot of out of bounds early. You see that little black and white strip coming into the fairway where the ditch is? That's probably 310, 325 feet maybe off the tee pad. Got to keep this controlled low and push it through the wind.
James going very overstable with a lot of Anheuser, a lot of trust, and
I mean, that's barely over the out of bounds. And that was, I mean, that right side is where it stretches out the longest.
Correct.
He probably got nearly 400 feet. Uh-oh.
this needs to hit hard and dry. Okay, good break for Thomas. If that gets through a little bit, that goes right into that collection out of bounds point that we saw in round one.
And this is
too,
yeah, lift in. We know where that one's going. This that Ramser's been throwing has been very overstable. Let's see if it holds true.
Don't lift, and this thing is going to be blasted up the fairway.
Yeah, great shot.
Couldn't walk up the fairway and put it in a better spot. Great shot for Nolan.
I don't think Thomas has any kind of play for the green here, so we're going to take a look at how he wants to play position golf.
It came out of his hand with such dramatic hyzer. I thought that thing could have lifted and gone out of bounds over the fence, but he's just playing to the right side.
James trying to beat the cedar. Doesn't do it, and
Not
that
quite.
could be tricky. He does look like he has a low line, but one little lift and you hit those branches and you didn't get out.
And as we learned yesterday, those trees grow all the way from the ground.
Well, the branches also grow all the way to the ground is what somebody might have said, but the trunks also do come out of the ground.
I don't know. I'm not an archaeologist or whatever they are.
An archaeologist?
That's a perfect shot right there.
Well played from Nolan.
That was a great shot. Yeah, you're more like just kind of a jack of all trades scientist.
Yeah,
you're not really like a
exactly.
specialist
No.
at this point.
Oh my.
Or am I an archaeologist? That's a new thing. I just made it up. That's
Phenomenal.
perfect.
Good shot from Thomas. That's blind from where he's standing.
James, if he can get out, he's done good.
Goes with a driver.
Sit. Okay, that was
He
very
almost
creative.
made that.
That would have been,
It looked like a driver to me.
yeah, that was really cool. He's not going driver there unless he's trying to make it.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. We can't have these three putts, Elijah. Nice
There's-
birdie.
Yeah, that was awesome. Race
Tee
is,
shot check, approach check, putt check. Well
race is a mistake.
done. That will be a double for Elijah Bickel.
It looked like he might have even dropped a hand there after that putt. Could have been a close call. I don't know if he was in the circle or out, but definitely got to watch that when you're down on the when you're under those trees. It can be even tougher because you go forward, you put that hand down beyond the lie. That's technically a falling putt. I don't think he was called on it though. I don't even know for sure if it was. My angle wasn't perfect.
The crowd was so spectacular today. Just the energy from you all was just amazing. I love you, Oregon!
Looking at hole 8, par 4, 724 feet with OB cable line on the left side, OB paint line on the right side, a couple fairway trees that we just flew under. You'd like to reach those in one and set yourself up with roughly 300 feet left into this extremely protected green. You got to go straight at this one and just try to stay close. Anything left or right is almost a layup because these trees, they grow low.
We have a huge right to left crosswind right now, and this forehand, look at this thing just get buried over. Thrower alert here for Nolan, but he's circling, still circling back to the middle.
Oh, and just going to sit right on a tiny tree.
That was a full circle thrower. We haven't seen too many of those. That takes crazy wind to produce that result. And look at James's Anheuser just get batted down.
Technically thrower. This is the time to do it. I threw one here.
Forehand play for Thomas. See if this is similar to his beautiful shot that we saw back on 5.
Look at that Heiser flip.
And that's going to drop down. That's a good land. I mean, and missing that tree, he's still another 75, 80 feet up. That's a huge forehand.
This is going to push.
I like this play. This is so much airspace out here to the right. And look at that. Finding the gap in the trees is Elijah. That's a fantastic drive.
Big shot there.
A lot of players going with that hyzer today. We're lifting up and going out of bounds over the street. Look at this. After the thrower, Nolan just gets near. That's in circle 2. That was a huge approach.
That was great.
Don't think he'll have a look for the birdie, but the par should be pretty easy now.
The knot roll.
Oh, man.
Back to back.
Boy.
That's going to be a difficult par save for James.
Thomas.
He's going mid.
This looks good. Can it catch anything?
Oh, go in.
Slide.
Wow. Wow, Thomas.
How close was this? We'll get our look here from the catch cam.
Wow, look at that. Oh,
wow.
Gosh.
And he stays circle 1.
Oh, Elijah's got a good read. Let's see if he can manage to replicate.
You just don't want that hyzer angle. It's so hard not to go with it in the wind.
Yeah.
But you need to find a way to throw that flat shot Thomas through, because as that coasts left on the skip, his angle for the putt disappears. Wow.
I don't know where that went. Okay, far enough that he's now throwing his 4th shot.
There's that angle control you were talking about, Nate. Very good. Kept it flat the whole time, under control.
So bogey for James on hole 8. And Nolan, after that remarkable second shot, just only a pitch. There's nothing else there. I don't know if that ever made its way back down to the ground. But Thomas now with an opportunity to get a couple strokes on James, who he's tied with right now, and he makes the putt. That is a great birdie.
Looking to open up that lead a little bit.
And 2 under for Thomas now. That, anything under par, like we said, or like I said earlier, 5 over course average in round 2.
And in round 1, I mean, clearly Thomas had the solo lead at 6 under. Conditions unquestionably are tougher now. So he knows anything even approaching that 6 under number, anything under par is positive progress up the leaderboard. Obviously, he can't move up. He's already in first, but you get what I'm saying. Anything he can do to stay under just a couple birdies, that's going to be enough to keep him on the lead card, to keep him in contention for this tournament.
Hole 9 is par 3, 423-foot Anheuser, but I think, well, even Thomas is looking at the Anheuser. I thought with that forehand power that we would be seeing the Heiser forehand from this young man from Canada. And that's getting caught up in early trees and dropping down short.
That was a good tree.
Yeah, dropped nice.
I think it was going into that real poofy tree there is what I'll call it.
Big helping tailwind here. The forehand was getting some extra juice for players that normally can't throw 420 plus feet. Today you might be able to. Great shot from Nolan. Pretty effortless looking forehand for him as well. Just getting it out there flat.
Yeah.
Letting the disc in the wind to do the rest of the work.
Perfectly played.
Leaving him on the tailwind side too.
I want to see what James has in store for us.
Well, you'll have to wait.
I know what he's going to do. Sidearm.
And
double skip. One. Dang.
Right there in the background as Elijah was teeing off, you heard the cheers. That was actually for Jordan Castro throwing one in from over 100 feet on hole 10. The hole that was only birdied by 1 player in round 1.
Nice.
Was it for a birdie?
It was.
For Jordan.
It was a birdie. And that Anheuser drive for James gets just taken straight out of the sky by the wind.
Elijah going to be relieved not to be under one of those cedars. I feel like he's been kind of living under there, unfortunately, the last 3 or 4 holes. James with a little floaty run. Good touch.
And look at these guys score. It looks like they might be struggling a little bit. You're seeing some purple on the screen, some red on the screen, but they're all maintaining, honestly. I mean, in these conditions, still being under par is actually pretty dang good.
Well, it's a bizarre lead card, honestly. I mean, we're used to seeing the firepower of Ricky, Paul, Eagle.
Yep.
And because of the windy conditions, the skill sets that those guys have that really push them forward are kind of leveled the playing field to where you could throw it in bounds all the time, get 3 birdies, and that's a great, fantastic round.
Mm-hmm. I'm impressed with anyone who makes their way onto league carded Elite Series event, whether it's first round, second round, last round, etc. But I'm really impressed by those guys who make it on that last day. I mean, that's when obviously everything gets shaken up and you're really getting the people who are playing their best. Gavin Babcock in the major a couple weeks ago, that was his week to shine and got that 5th place finish. Extraordinary effort for him. And this week we're seeing some different faces and names up here on the leaderboard, but
look at that leaderboard.
Brody Smith, folks.
Brody Smith tied for the lead with Thomas Gilbert, 2 clear of Conrad and Ramser. Fantastic start for Brody, playing really well in this wind. Also see Logan Harpool down there, 4 under on the front 9. Fantastic start for him. We got a lot more golf coming to you. Just 9 more holes here at Jones before we move to Emporia Country Club for rounds 3 and 4. come on back and we'll show you how this thing closes out. Thank you to the Founders Club, as always, for their support of our coverage.
Hit the subscribe button.
Oh, yeah.
Just do it.